The Pixel 9 is one of the most interesting phones that I've used over the past 10 months, and here's why. Now, you know the feeling when a phone gets hyped up at launch, and you're like, okay, it looks pretty promising, but let's see how it holds up after the hype has died down. Well, it's been 10 months with the Pixel 9, and I've got some thoughts. Because while it's still one of the smartest, cleanest phones that I've used all year, it's still not perfect. And trust me, there are a few things that have aged like wine, but others, not so much. So if you're thinking about picking one up now, wondering if it's still worth it in 2025, or even if you already own the Pixel 9 and something just doesn't feel right, then this is the video that you're going to want to stick around for. I've been living with this phone day in and day out, so let's talk about what still makes it special and what just doesn't really hit anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, the Pixel 9 is a great phone, but again, it's not perfect. And if you're one of those people that are thinking about picking one up, I want you to know exactly what you're getting into. So let's start with the bugs. One thing on my Pixel 9 that still pops up is this random UI glitch where the keyboard just freezes mid-typing. Like, I'll be replying to a message or searching something up on Google and boom, completely unresponsive for a few seconds. It's pretty rare, but when it does happen, it does break the flow. I've also had a couple of app crashes unexpectedly, Instagram and Twitter mainly, though that might be on them just as much as it is on Google. Bluetooth used to randomly disconnect my earbuds back in the first few months, but thankfully that seems to be patched now, so yeah, props to Google on that. But my problem goes deeper than just the software stuff. I also have a problem with the glossy back, and I gotta be honest, I'm not really a fan. It picks up fingerprints like crazy. Like, I wipe it down, put it in my pocket, and by the time I take it back out, it's smudged again, and it just never stays clean. So if you're someone who rocks a case-free setup, this is gonna bug you. Then there's the fingerprint sensor. It's okay, but definitely not reliable or smooth. Some days it works instantly, other times it feels like I'm playing a guessing game, and it's just not ideal, especially if you're in a rush or just trying to unlock your phone pretty quickly. Now, next up, here's the part that honestly surprised me. Gaming on the Pixel 9 kinda sucks. I hate to say it, but compared to phones with Snapdragon chips, the Tensor G4 just doesn't hold up. Games like Genshin Impact and Call of Duty Mobile stutter more than I expect. The phone heats up pretty fast and performance drops off after a few minutes. It's playable, sure, but if gaming is important to you, then this might be a deal breaker. So yeah. None of this makes the Pixel 9 a bad phone, but these little things definitely hold it back from being perfect. Most of the bugs are minor annoyances, but the gaming performance and fingerprint inconsistency, that's something that you'll seriously want to consider before buying. But before I go into more of my experience with the Pixel 9, I would like to introduce you guys to my partners, Magback. The Magback Elite for my Pixel 9 Pro XL has completely revolutionized how I use my phone in 2025. Now, this case's premium materials feel incredibly luxurious in my hand with a very soft touch finish that provides the perfect balance of grip and comfort. And what truly sets this case apart is its innovative retractable finger loop. Whenever I need the extra security while taking photos or browsing, I can simply pop it out. And when I want a sleeker profile, it disappears completely into the case. The telescoping magnets in the Magback Elite are engineering marvels, providing 3 times stronger magnetic force than typical magnetic cases, and I'm particularly impressed by its universal compatibility with MagSafe accessories, allowing me to use everything from wireless chargers to car mounts without any issues. The car's protective capabilities have saved my phone multiple times. Its reinforced corners and raised edges offer superior drop protection without adding bulk. The precision cutouts for all ports and buttons make accessing every feature on my 9 Pro XL effortless. It also protects my charging port from water and sand, and while the tactile button covers maintain the satisfying click of the original buttons, even after a while of daily use, the case maintains its pristine appearance, resisting scratches and discoloration remarkably well. The wireless charging performance through the case is flawless, maintaining full charging speeds without any interference. And I also love how the case enhances the phone's grip without making it feel too bulky. It actually makes my 9 Pro XL more comfortable to hold for extended periods of time. The magnetic alignment is incredibly precise, making it satisfying to attach and detach accessories with perfect positioning every single time. The case's camera cutout provides excellent protection for lenses while ensuring no interference with photo quality or flash performance. And also, it's impressive how the case manages to be both slim and protective, striking an ideal balance that many other cases fail to achieve. And what's even more impressive is that Magback offers the same exceptional quality across the entire range of phone cases, making their Elite series a standout choice for any smartphone user. So if you're interested in the Magback Elite case, don't forget to click the link and description in the comment section down below. So now that we've got the problems out of the way, let's talk about the display, because that's one area where the Pixel 9 still holds up really well, even 10 months later. Now you're getting a 6.3-inch OLED panel with 120Hz refresh rate, and in everyday use, it looks sharp, vibrant, and super responsive. Colors are well balanced, not overly saturated like a Samsung panel, but not dull either. It's tuned in a way that feels natural, especially when you're scrolling through photos or watching YouTube. And in terms of brightness, it's pretty good. Not the brightest display out there, especially when you're outdoors in direct sunlight, but definitely usable. And if you're coming from something like an iPhone 16 or a Galaxy S25, you might notice that it doesn't really punch as hard, but as far as indoors, I had no issues. The 120Hz refresh rate is smooth a majority of the time. Apps feel snappy, animations glide, but I have noticed that it occasionally dips when the phone heats up. It's rare, but you'll catch a few jitters here and there, especially during heavier multitasking. Nothing dramatic, but definitely worth mentioning. And as far as durability goes, no screen burning or ghosting on my unit so far. I leave always on display running 24/7 and everything still looks crisp. So yeah, while it may not be the flashiest display out there in 2025, it's definitely still one of the more enjoyable ones to use. Clean, smooth, and surprisingly easy on the eyes. But alright, let's dive into something that really matters in day-to-day use, and that's performance. Now the Pixel 9 runs on Google's Tensor G4 chip, and here's how that plays into my real life use. Now I'm the type of person that does a bit of everything: email and docs, some photo editing, video calls, social media, and I would say that for general tasks, the Pixel 9 is pretty smooth. Switching between apps, no problem. Scrolling feeds, butter. Any stock Android animations and strong UI optimization never really felt laggy. But here's where things do get interesting. Benchmarks and stress tests show what the Tensor G4 is really like under the hood. The Pixel 9 scores just under 1 million, which is decent. Stress tests show that the G4 isn't the strongest. And when it comes to real life, I would say that they're right. During longer gaming and editing sessions, the phone heats up and those silky animations dip. Frame drops pop up, not every gaming set, but just enough to be noticeable. But on the bright side, the thermals are better than last year. Google has prioritized cooling, and yes, it does feel cooler than the Pixel 8, but the base 9 does get warmer than the Pro XL. But besides that, for light users, it's fast and fluid and you won't care. And for power users and gamers, you'll definitely hit that performance ceiling. Thermal throttling is real, and gaming performance dips noticeably. Next up, after 10 months with the Pixel 9, I would say that the battery is okay. Not amazing, not terrible, just solid, middle of the road. I've been averaging 5 to 6 hours of on-screen time, depending on how hard I'm pushing it. On lighter days, I'm mostly using social media and messaging, but if I throw in a longer GPS session, some gaming, and a few video calls, I'm definitely reaching for the charger by late evening. The standby drain has been one of the more surprising parts. It's actually improved a bit with the last couple of updates, and I can leave the phone overnight and only lose 2 to 3%, which is pretty efficient. And Google's background app management and adaptive battery seem to be doing much better than the previous Pixels. Now looking at charging speed, yeah, this is where it lags behind the competition. Google still caps the Pixel 9 at 27 watt wired, which isn't great when compared to phones like the OnePlus 13 or Infinix Note 50 Pro that are cheaper or around the same price. In real world terms, the 27 watt charge means that you're looking at about an hour and 15 minutes for a full charge from 0 to 100%. It's not slow by traditional standards, but it can be better. So the bottom line is that the Pixel 9's battery will get you through the day, but if you're a heavy user, expect to charge at least twice a day. So next up, let's talk software, because that's always been a huge part of why people pick up a Pixel. And after 10 months running the latest Android 15, the Pixel 9 still delivers one of the cleanest, smartest software experiences that you can get on a phone. Animations are buttery smooth, like I still get that satisfying bounce and responsiveness when switching between apps or pulling down the quick settings. And even after updates, it still feels pretty brand new. And when it comes to AI, I don't really use too many features, but I do use Gemini AI a lot. Whether it's helping me reply to emails with smarter suggestions or asking it random questions like how do I cook salmon without drying it out, and boom, it gives me real helpful info without needing to Google search. And I'm also a fan of using my Pixel to clean up photos. You know, the feature where you can literally move things in the background like random people or clutter. It's kind of really useful. It's not perfect 100% of the time, but when it works really well. You also get all of the Pixel exclusives like now playing on the lock screen, which still slaps, the recorder app with the live transcription, and call screen, which I use way more than I thought I would. And one of my favorite parts about the Pixel is that there's almost no bloatware. No weird pre-installed third-party apps, just Pixel Essentials, Google Suite, and Android 15 doing its thing. Updates have been regular and fast too. Security patches hit like clockwork, and the Android 15 came right on time. So overall, the software still feels like Pixel's strongest asset. It's smooth, smart, and genuinely helpful. Now moving on to camera, this is where the Pixel 9 still shows its roots. And 10 months later, it's still one of the most consistent shooters out there, but it's not untouchable anymore. Now looking at what it nails, which is the photos, in my honest opinion, I feel like Google just knows how to handle skin tones, dynamic range, and contrast. Whether I'm snapping portraits of friends, food pics, or random city shots at night, the results always come out ready to post. The HDR is balanced, shadows are clean, and the colors stay realistic without being flat. Videos on the Pixel 9 are where it starts to show some cracks. Stabilization is fine, but not quite on the level of the iPhone 16, especially when you're walking and recording at 4K. There's always a slight jitter, and details in low light just doesn't hold up to how it does on the S25 or even last year's iPhone. Also, I noticed some minor shutter lag when trying to snap quick moments. It's not as bad as Galaxy's used to be, but it's definitely noticeable. And then there's the zoom. The regular Pixel 9 doesn't have a dedicated telephoto like the Pro model, so anything beyond 3 to 4x starts looking soft real fast, and it's definitely not the phone that I recommend for long distance shots. But here's the thing, if you mainly shoot photos, especially portraits or quick day-to-day snaps, it's still in the top tier. But if you're a video first kind of person or someone who really pushes zoom, the iPhone 16 or Galaxy S25 gives you more to work with. But overall, the Pixel 9 still has that point shoot and trust it kind of vibe. And for a phone of this price, that's kind of hard to beat. But alright, let's talk about the basics, because no matter how smart your phone is, it still needs to handle calls and typing like a champ. Now I'm on T-Mobile and I've had no issues with signal strength. It's been stable in most places that I've taken it, even in areas where reception usually drops a bar or two. Call audio quality is also solid, voices sound clean on both ends, the earpiece is loud enough for noisy environments, and I've had people tell me that I come through clearly. Even when I'm outside, the mic does a good job filtering out background unless you're in super windy conditions. So there's no weird quirks here. The Pixel 9 handles your day-to-day basics like calls and typing just as well, if not better, than most phones that I've used this year. So here's the bottom line after 10 months with the Pixel 9. This phone still delivers where it matters most: clean software, smart AI features, and a camera that just nails the shot every single time. It feels great in hand, the UI is super polished, and the haptics are top tier. But it's not a phone without its flaws. The fingerprint sensor is inconsistent, the glossy back attracts more smudges than a mirror at a toddler's birthday party, and the gaming performance, yeah, it's definitely not built for heavy gamers or benchmark warriors. And charging speeds, let's just say that they're not exactly future-proof. So who's this phone for? Well, if you care about photography, want a phone that's genuinely helpful with smart AI features, and you prefer a minimal, no-nonsense Android experience, then the Pixel 9 is still a fantastic choice in 2025. Peace.